Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 512 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined once again by my co-host, Ben Askren, who's coming at us. He has power in his home for now.
It might go out. We don't know.
It could go out. We never know. Same here. And joined his triumphant return, the last FRL we did together. Do you remember? What was it?
Not remotely.
Yeah, you do. It was an emergency FRL.
Oh, Thomas Gilman.
Oh.
Gilman. Okay, so it's been since whenever he went to Penn State. Since last time we had Nomad at this desk beside me. But it's good to have him back. He's been all over the place. But man, Nomad's had a morning already. Let me tell you. So Ben, apparently,
I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah. So you've got some storms apparently in Wisconsin, which we've got them here. So it's pouring. It doesn't really rain much in Texas, but when it does, it's like torrential.
We're in a desert. By the way, episode 512, the Austin, Texas edition of FRL.
Wow. I didn't even realize that. Yes, 512. There you go here in Austin.
We should have balloons or something, Christian.
We should have. This is bigger than episode 500, really. So I got here early enough. I got here before the rain. But then, a half hour after I get here, it starts pouring rain. I'm like, oh, man. Anyone that's going to have to come in. There's a little bit of a walk to get inside. So Nomad washes up. He parks. And he comes inside.
Wait. What does he washes up? What does that mean?
Yeah, no.
I kayaked in.
He gets out of his car, and he's like tiptoeing through the parking lot.
The car? Nomad owns the car now?
No one said it's his. He drove a car here. It could be anyone's. Who's to say? So he comes in. I let him inside. He's completely soaked. Like he is head to toe drenched. And he's like, asking me if I have extra pants. And I don't have any extra pants, any shorts, anything like that.
Christian, how unprepared are you?
I'm very unprepared.
Who doesn't come to work with extra pants?
I normally do. So we're like scrambling what to do because his pants are completely saturated.
It's miserable.
These are just wet pants. These are very wet pants.
Bad situation.
It's not good. So, I need Nomad on his A game. So I'm like, what can we do to get him some pants? JD Raider, our content guy who has been gone off the grid in Omaha
3 months?
Since mid-March. Okay.
Oh my God.
His laundry bag has been here since this time. We have a laundry service here. It's a great place to work, Flow Sports. And they do our laundry. But he left his laundry here for 3 months. So Nomad goes through it. Wow, he's gonna hike his leg up there. And he stole JD Raider's sweatpants and put them on. And then he takes them out of the laundry bag. And instead of, going to the restroom and putting them on, no one's in here, but we're in the huge open office. He just drops his pants and throws on the sweatpants in the middle of the office.
It's just me and CP here. I wasn't going commando, and it's a wrestler. You quick change.
Yeah, I didn't care, but it was just a bold move.
I'm also going Ben Funky Askren style because my shoes were soaked, and everyone knows that just walking around in wet shoes is terrible. So I'm also barefoot.
He's barefoot.
Oh, well, you want to know one record I have at the University of Missouri, Christian?
Just one? Yeah.
So there's one time we got done with a 6-mile run. Coach Smith, he's getting soft because we used to do them every week, like say anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks, depending on how the calendar fell for the fall. And now they do them like once because Coach Smith's he's getting older, he's getting a little too nice.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. So, anyways, we finish, and I have this test. I don't remember. I think it was maybe statistics. Yeah, it was statistics. It was easy because I finished it in 11 minutes. No problem, Bubba. So, I drive through this puddle. Well, what happens, Christian? My car, good old trusty Camry, stops. It got flooded with water, okay?
Uh-oh.
And it is torrential downpour. So, I'm like, oh, like it's literally in the middle of an intersection. So, I'm like, okay, I guess I got to push it out. So I get out by myself. I push my car out of the puddle, and I call AAA or somebody, and they say, we can be there in 45 minutes or whatever. Well, I got a test in like 12 minutes or something here. So I am soaked. My shoes are now soaked because I was literally standing in the puddle, and I'm like, damn, I got a test in 12 minutes. So I grabbed my pencil. I grabbed my calculator. I had just shorts on. I booked it. No shoes, no shirt, took a test in 11 minutes, set a record for taking a test with the least amount of clothing on because it was only one, and no one could beat that.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. Did you have to explain anything to your teacher?
No, I mean it was one of those really big auditorium type classrooms where there's like 400 people taking the test. So I just like sat in my seat. There was a test on every desk. I did it. They did look at me really funny when I walked up there with no shirt and no shoes on, and I handed in my test in 11 minutes. But I was really good at statistics, so it was easy. Got a good grade.
Yeah, were you a really good student?
No, I didn't really care that much. I mean, I never got below a 3.0, but I didn't have much incentive to go much above that.
Got it. All
How about you, Christian? You were a 4.0, weren't you?
No, man, I was a terrible student. Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. At one point,
wow.
Man, at one point in high school, one semester I had I'm not like proud of this, but it's true. I had a .9 GPA at one point in hhigh school.
What? Christian Miles had a .9?
I'm a terrible.
He was barely above the legal limit.
Yeah, barely above the legal limit, .08. Yeah, very bad student.
Why?
I'm not
Was
entirely
this
sure.
Rebellious phase in your life, or
No,
like what?
absolutely. I'm yet to enter that phase in my life. I don't know. I was just bad. I tried and stuff. Just really bad.
Are we talking about high school or college?
No, high school. I did good in college. I probably was never under a 3 in college.
Okay.
But high school I was terrible. I did bad at the hard classes. Like I was terrible at math. I bombed chemistry. Like I'm not particularly, I don't know, smart.
Chemistry. That was a terrible class.
Bad student.
That was my worst one also.
My favorite thing about chemistry class is when we'd be taking the test and our teacher would be like going over the test and taking it at the same time we would, and she'd be like, "Oh," and we'd all look up like, all right, what's that supposed to mean? She'd go, "Don't do number 12. I got that one wrong."
Oh, that's great. What a great teacher. At least she did. Yeah, so no, very, very bad student. Not proud of it, but whatever. It all worked out. Okay, so Nomad's here. We're excited about that. Ben has power. They've got storms in Wisconsin, and we're ready to go. And Ben, we teased this forever. I know.
Yeah.
I kept leading
And
you on. But I told you it was going to be worth it.
I'm really bad with secrets. I wanted to kind of, I knew one day ahead of time. You guys didn't tell me that far ahead of time because you knew I was terrible with secrets. But I did keep the secret for a whole 24 hours.
Thank you. Did you tell Ozzy?
Ozzy thinks Pat Downey's a bum too.
Okay, so what do you think? What are your thoughts, Ben?
It's awesome. I'm so excited. It's real wrestling. It's happening. July 25th. I can't wait.
And you're coming. I said that on the show. I hope you are still coming.
I am still coming. I'm very much looking forward to it. Dake Chamizo's fun. I'm actually, I said on Twitter, I think Dake's probably the favorite. I mean, do you guys feel that way? Or I kind of went back and forth on it because then when I said that, I'm like, maybe he's not. But maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I do think he's the favorite. But I think the points are going to be really hard to come by. And what's the scenario? What's the path to victory for each guy? I mean, I think both guys have reliable leg attacks. I think Dake probably just has a couple more ways to score. If Chamizo shoots, I think he could exploit that. I think Dake could go and get it if he needed to. He's definitely better parterre. But
I mean, for me, I think Chamizo, he's so crafty. Is it going to be one of those situations where, Kyle Dake has the probably best chest wrap in America, we'll say, and one of the best gut wrenches in America. Is it one of those situations where, he thinks he's going to be able to do this Chamizo too, and she feels he's a little too crafty, and he steps over a gut wrench or, flies to the other side on a chest wrap or something to that effect? Is that a possibility? If they do get in scrambles, I wish we could force them to be in scrambles for 6 minutes straight because that would be just totally entertaining for me. But I do think they'll be both very cautious, and like you said, the points will be hard to come by.
Yeah, I think not for a lack of exchanges, but for sure. I mean, I don't think who's the closest.
Wait, what do you mean by not for lack of exchanges?
Well, I think guys there will be attempts, and there will be they'll mix it up. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I feel like they both are the kind of guy. They never wrestle each other. To my knowledge, am I wrong on that? They never wrestle each other.
Never.
Okay, I think they're both the kind of guy who's gonna feel each other out. Don't you guys feel like that or no?
Maybe, I don't know, but it's really tough to peg Chimizo. I think he's been too marginalized as a defensive guy. I mean, I went on because my son doesn't know who he is, so we were watching it together.
What?
Yeah, he's like, who's
Why
Chimizo?
would you keep Caleb from that?
I didn't. That's why we watched it, Ben.
He's more of a folk style guy.
Yeah, he's a folk styler.
Okay.
Currently. If Chimizo was at Iowa or something, or in the Big Ten, he'd probably watch him all the time.
Uncle Nomad needs to take Caleb under his wing.
No, not yet. He's not ready.
I don't know if we want that just yet.
So I was watching it, I was like, man, he's got more reliable, consistent leg attacks than I think people give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And so with
Yeah,
that
he
considered.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, just if you consider that, and you consider Dake, I think, are more reliable and consistent than people realize. I think they're going to mix it up. And, it's an exhibition, right? It's not the World Finals. Yeah. It's not – my question is, who have we seen Dake wrestle that even has an approximate style to Chimizo, right? Like really creative, scrambling.
Who does have an approximate style to Chimizo anywhere, any weight? I mean, I feel as though he's so unique. There's probably only a couple people who do really similar stuff to him anywhere.
Yeah, there's when you think, I mean, he has a very European style about him, even though he's Cuban and wrestles in Italy. Dake's beaten some Russians though.
But I think that's what makes him so unique, right? Is the combination of growing up with the Cuban influence, which is a supremely defensive style, with kind of a European feel. When you combine those, you get something that pretty much no one has ever seen before. To me, what I want Dake to go on the clock first, because Kyle Dake hates giving up points, and I think he will absolutely go after him. And then, but the reason I think Dake is a big favorite is because Frank Chimizo's worst position, we've seen this over and over again, is body lock. And Kyle Dake is absolutely tremendous from body lock, and will have a size advantage. And I just think that's going to be his game plan going in, is try to bomb him.
Man, I watched Chimizo body lock Togrul Asgarov straight to his back. I don't know how much of a weakness it is. I think he's all right there.
I'll give you that one. I've seen him get body lock to his back more than I have seen him win that position.
Yeah.
Probably 2-to-1 basis.
Maybe.
We need a deep dive on that. The amount of body locks that Chimizo's been in and how many he's won.
Well, Ghazi Magomedov bombed him to the next planet in let's see, Koloff finals. One of those. I promise you, that's a position he has lost more than he's won.
Is that the one that Dake split with?
No, that was Ghazi Magomedov.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
This is the problem with these names.
Yes.
I thought
very similar.
There's Ghazi and there's Gadji, and they wrestle the same weight. Mm-hmm. But also there's here's one thing with Dake, and why maybe on this occasion could they be tipped a little for Chimizo, is he kind of uses the first time he puts his hands on someone as a learning opportunity. First time he wrestled Ghazi Magomedov, he lost, and lost kind of decisively. Then he kind of figured it out. First time, I mean, we're going back to 2013 now, but it's a pertinent example. Gets teched by Burroughs, then he loses to him by criteria. So there's something to be said for what?
2013? 2013?
Yeah. With Burroughs.
First time wrestled Burroughs?
Burroughs and Dake, yeah.
Where?
The first time wrestled was U.S. Open, because Burroughs still Burroughs wrestled in the Open back then.
I thought you said. Didn't you just say? Oh, I thought you said Burroughs Chimizo.
Burroughs and Dake, 2013.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm saying Dake.
Said Burroughs and Chimizo. Got it.
So Burroughs and Dake used that first match as like an opportunity. All right, got destroyed, and then made some adjustments and got a lot closer. I wonder if it's something like that, where will he be able to learn and figure out all the tricks Chimizo has in real time and then turn it around? It's a fascinating one, and really, Nomad, you correct me if I'm wrong. The way I look at 74 internationally, now this is another thing worth mentioning before we go into that. Chimizo is a 74 coming up to 79, right? Dake did not want this match down at 74 yet. He wanted it up at 79.
When are they doing weigh-ins? Because I didn't see this announced. Are they doing weigh-ins day before, morning of?
I should really know this, but I think they're day before.
They're
day of.
I think it's 3-hour weigh-in.
3-hour weigh-in.
Okay. So wasn't Chimizo really specific about the weigh-in with Burroughs a couple of years back?
Oh, absolutely. At Beat the Streets? Yeah. Well, that was.
What was the deal? I don't remember exactly.
So it's interesting because his whole thing was, Chimizo's thing was, for that one, I'm coming up. I'm a 70. I'm coming up to 74, so the weigh-in needs to be kind of catered with that in mind. Now, this is what I didn't like that is because the whole time I'm like, he's a 74. He's going 74 from here on out. He's not a 70 anymore, and he never went 70 again. So,
yeah.
But that doesn't matter. But so, because we know he is going to be a 74 for the Olympic years and beyond. But so, yeah, he was really particular then, and I think he was particular now. Hey, he wanted it at 74, so now I would say he's being less particular, and Kyle Dake is being more particular because, I think someone asked why didn't Dake want it at 74? I was like, well, very obviously he didn't want to make a major cut right now, right?
But
I don't blame
you
him
would
for
think that how many times has Kyle Dake made 74 now? And 74, not like in the past because 74 with the new rules because that's relevant also.
Mm-hmm.
Mateo.
How many times?
Mateo Pelicone, where
that might be it.
Under the new weigh-in rules?
Yeah, because he's been 79 for the last 2 years.
That's a good point.
And that was a tough cut for him.
Yeah.
He got better as the day went on.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I understand Dake not wanting to use this as like a 74 rep, right? It's like, he hasn't wrestled a match in how long? Since then?
Yeah, Mateo's his last
but the hard part, Christian, is when's his next tournament he's going to use as a rep, right? I mean, we don't know at this point what the schedule is going to look like going from here to next April. So, man, I feel like they might as well just get the reps in while they can because who knows which ones they're going to get.
Yeah, and truthfully, if there's world team trials or something, that could be the next time, right? Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, Dake, when he was an 86 kilo guy, he weighed like 177, right? So obviously trying to be as big as he could, that's all he got up to. So it makes me think he's probably grown since then. Since 2016.
I mean, yeah, that's
which is weird because in 2016 he was 26 or 24,
something like that. Yeah,
he's older.
And but he's changed up his diet. He's changed up how he trains, and that could have led to some weight gain.
Yeah.
Over time.
Wasn't there rumors, Christian, that he weighed in under the 79 kilo limit at Worlds?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember ever hearing that.
He might
there.
But now that you mention it, I kind of do remember something about that.
I feel like I remember that, which means 79, 75, 74. There's only 5 kilos apart. That's 11 pounds. If he was under, just naturally, that means he's not all that much bigger than 74.
Yeah. But regardless, the match is going to go down at 79. Two-time world champions. And what I was going to say about 74 is, I view 74 kilogram, the race for the world or Olympic, I could be worlds first now, as basically 4 guys can win it in my mind. Jordan Burroughs, Kyle Dake, Frank Chimizo, Sidakov.
That's tier 1.
That's the tier 1. Those are the 4 big contenders, right? Mm. So this is very realistically a potential world or Olympic final. Now there's 2 guys with a lot to say about it, including the reigning 2-time world champion, who is 2-0 against Burroughs and beat Sidakov in the world finals.
Let's get Sidakov over here in October to wrestle somebody.
Man,
you got his agent's number? Can you call him? Can you call it the Caucasus Mountains?
Sidakov,
he's Ossetian.
Yeah.
Sidakov, I was told, was very open to a match. Actually, you know what? Novogratz said it
he
on
wanted
Beta
Askren.
Show. So Sidakov sounds like he's down to tango.
Let's do it. Christian, call him up. Can we get him live on radio right now?
Yeah, maybe a slight language barrier, but Nomad is the. He can probably break it down, translate.
I wonder if he's on Instagram because maybe I can hit him up there because these Russians they harass me on Instagram and one.
Why?
Okay, Christian. So I forgot. Okay, so I didn't use Instagram. I didn't use it at all. I had one. Well, because someone actually started for me a fake one, and then Tyron Woodley got it back for me. But when I got traded to the UFC, I had my information on there. I didn't even know it, right?
Like your phone?
Yeah. So in the course of 3 days, I got maybe like 900 WhatsApp messages, all from a +7 international code, which is somewhere in Russia.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
were they real?
No, you probably get harassed by the +7. Yeah, they were real. Yes, they were trying to tell me about all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they you guys use WhatsApp or no?
I'm familiar with it. I don't use it much because
Nomad uses it.
I've only ever used it when I'm overseas.
Okay, it's a good app, yeah. But yeah, the Russians harassed. I'm gonna look up Sidakov right now.
All right, track him down. Do the Russians like you?
I don't know. I'm fairly likable.
Depends on if you. They wouldn't like you if you were about to fight Khabib.
Depends on how many bad things I've said about him.
I don't think you've said that much.
Oh
bad.
yeah, he's even verified. Zalbek Sidakov, 59K followers. Looks like a nice gentleman.
He seems like a cool guy.
That's I was talking to.
He kind of pisses me off when he beats Burroughs in the last second every time, so I kind of don't like him for that.
I was talking to Lauren, Jordan Burroughs' wife, after Worlds. She's like, you know what really sucks about this group of Russians? They're so much more likable than when Jordan was younger.
Oh, Godoyev and Sargush could not be less likable indivials. It's like these guys.
Sargush is like the.
He's the worst.
He was evil. He was like an evil villain.
Oh man!
But the coach, Tadiev.
Oh yeah, you can just tell
he is a Bond villain.
You can look at his face. You're like, oh boy, this is trouble right here. This guy.
But yeah, the Russians are like the current group of Russians that pretty much comprise their world team are far more likable.
Yeah, how do you not like Sadulayev? Even though he beats Kyle, it's like seems like a really nice, hardworking, humble dude. And
right, like if he was American, he would be the champion of champions.
Yes, he'd probably be running for president right now. But
he's gonna run for president of Russia at some point.
He'll never win that. Dagestani.
Right after Khabib.
Oh my gosh.
Khabib.
Maybe president of Dagestan or whatever they have there.
Surub Village.
Hey, okay. So that's Dave Chamizo.
I just sent Sidakov a message. It's 4:39 on Tuesday, June 23 over there. So you know what? Who knows? Maybe he'll respond to me by the end of the show.
That would be wild.
Rise and grind up by 6.
Yeah, he's probably
no. PM 4:39 PM.
Oh, over there.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, he's getting ready for dinner.
He's hungry. Okay, we'll talk plenty about Dave Chamizo because we have till July 25th. Ben, I'm going. Me, Mike Mal, and 2 shooters are headed to the East Coast to do some content with these guys. So
what about we going to talk about Downey Taylor?
Yeah, we're going to talk about Downey Taylor. Talk about that next.
There's been some bad blood.
That is the worst blood. That is these two guys.
The worst blood.
Worst blood. Yeah, these guys are not fans of one another. And I can understand why, especially if you're David Taylor. I could be feeling, hey, it's not Pat Downey Jr. This is PD3. Pat Downey Jr. is Pat Downey's father.
Did he officially
I bet David,
well, no, it just says
David probably wants to beat up PD Jr. too.
He'll probably say line him up. But
so hey, Christian, I forgot to mention, I don't know if you're in the Facebook chat. Your mom's on here, so don't be saying anything too crazy.
Oh, gosh. Deb.
She literally wrote, CP's mom is watching.
That's Bracky, ban my mother. Before I get scolded about my bad grades again. Such a disappointment. Okay. All right, I'm gonna try to recover there. Downey Taylor. Listen, if you're David Taylor, how can you not be just chomping at the bit for this match?
Can we talk about why though?
Why?
Well, Pat accused Taylor of really serious things.
Yes. doping and other stuff that completely unfounded and unfair. And, David's just kind of sat back and he's not really engaged. But you know that he knows that that's being said.
If you start throwing mud with someone, Christian, you're going to get muddy.
Well said. Very true. And
calling into question somebody's legitimacy as a competitor is just you're asking for a whooping.
Yeah, but
I mean, right, to put it simply.
Yeah, and for Downey, maybe I think this is a good opportunity for Downey because everyone knows to make the team, you got to beat David Taylor, right? And here's your first chance to wrestle him since 2017. He teched you twice in 2017, I believe. And here's a proving ground for you and an opportunity to see how you stack up against the guy that is the gold standard for the weight, not just domestically, but internationally as well. The man hasn't lost since 2017 World Team Trials. To Jaden, who he also beat in that series. Ben, what were your thoughts when you heard David wanted the 4-minute periods and the no tech falls?
I thought that was hilarious. And you give him 2 extra minutes. Pat Downey's going to be very tired. But someone said, how many points could he score? And I don't really know what the answer is. Freestyle's funny, though, because say he got a lace. I mean, he could rack up, say, 20 points in a lace if it got, happened on the right spot on the mat. Listen, I was in for it, and I don't know why you guys didn't do it. I thought it'd be a fun gimmick.
Yeah, gimmick, because it's a gimmick. We want a freestyle match, not a gimmick. But, yeah, it was interesting.
You don't want a gimmick match?
No, I want a real match. We've done gimmick matches before. Downey was in our last gimmick match when he wrestled Nicky Rod. That was fun.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I didn't like that gimmick match because it was just so uncompetitive.
Yeah.
Combined time on their 2 matches from 2017 U.S. Open, 2017 World Team Trials, 5:57.
Yeah.
So 20-0 and 5:57 extrapolates to 26, 27 points.
But you can't extrapolate that because those 2 extra minutes are when he'll be the most tired.
Yeah, it could go. It's probably 26 at a minimum. But that assumes 2017 version of Pat Downey, which I don't think is going to be the case. I think we've seen. Listen, this guy, Pat Downey. You're not going to like to hear this, Ben, but you have to accept these words. You need to accept.
Well, let's hear it.
He's world class. This guy made the world team in America. He was a match away from qualifying the weight, from being top 5 in the world. Okay? He is on the level, right? Now, is he as good as David Taylor? We don't know about that.
What are we going to define as world class, Christian?
Man, if you're a top 10 in the world, if you're a top 10 in the world at something, you have to. Because Ben Askren, I need you to say the words. PD3 is world class.
PD3 is a world class bum.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, Ben, so there.
Yeah. No, you guys are right. I'm just giving you guys a hard time.
I mean, so there's the composition of a weight, right, where you have seemingly 2 guys who are way ahead of everybody else in terms of Yazdani and Taylor, over the past 3 years.
Yeah.
But there is still something to being top 10 at an Olympic weight and having multiple wins of really good guys and going through the gauntlet of making the U.S. team.
I'm just being the heel over here. You guys are right, of course.
We're all wearing black today.
Who wrestles at harder Who wrestles at harder pace internationally than David?
He's up there,
pretty
high.
I went and rewatched his 2018 World Run.
Haji's melted some dudes.
Yazdani Karate is the one I would say, except he's been melted twice by Taylor.
Yes.
That is the most insane thing is you have 2 of the top 5.
They're liquefiers.
Yeah.
They liquefy humans.
And
liquefiers.
Yes, melted.
One of the greatest videos on Flow from the past 4 years is Yazdani after losing to Taylor, just hands on his knees, just
he couldn't get up, he couldn't move.
Amazing.
He was so tired. And then I rewatched him get kicked in the face. That was crazy.
Ooh. I would say, though, if Bo Nickel had won 86, listen, I've already admitted that Downey's world class, so don't come at me on that one. I will say that Bo Nickel would have beat Pat Downey to make the team in 2018 had he chosen to go to that weight class, which I have no idea why he didn't, because he would have been there. And then I think there's a potential that he would have qualified the weight for the United States for the Olympics.
I don't disagree with that either.
Okay.
I mean, he literally texted Pat Downey when they wrestled. Now, Pat will refute that by saying he literally just finished his match with Gabe Dean, and like a half hour later had to wrestle Bo Nickel, which that would be really, really hard to do. And I think he got the first takedown.
Didn't Bo have a match prior to that?
He had a little more time, as I recall, and he didn't have to wrestle Gabe Dean the previous match either.
Yeah, but those are the rules at the time, man.
No, I'm not saying.
And he would have
I'm not
had
making
someone in that round.
I'm just giving you a little context, guys.
I hear you.
I'm not making an
you.
excuse. Bo, I think Bo probably would have beat him, anyways. But
What
just saying.
year was that, guys? 2017 or
17.
2018?
But also, Downey was like training at a farm in Wisconsin with Ben Provisor at this point in time. It's not like he was in like an ideal training environment.
He might have done
17.
that one to himself.
You were right,
Well,
Ben.
yeah.
He did get the first takedown off a slide by. I actually called this match, now that I remember it.
Nomad called it.
Hey.
So he did get the first takedown.
Let's see, 86. I'm seeing who did Bo wrestle. Okay, so Pat Downey beat Pete Renda in a competitive match. Where's Bo Nickel at? Bo Nickel loses to he lost to Richard Perry in a that was a good match. I remember that one.
Oh, that was a good one.
Perry.
Yeah.
Richard Perry's a beast.
Oh, so I guess hold on. I guess maybe Bo Nickel did not have a match because he was coming off of the loss to he got to sit next round because Downey lost in the quarters, Bo lost in the semis.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
So anyway, and then we also have, and as mentioned, more to come there. Hey, when you come to Austin, I want you and Downey to have a sit down.
That would be funny.
I'll
do it. If he would do it, I would do it.
You know he'd do it.
Yeah.
All right, Ben's
I'm
in.
man.
All right, cool. That'd be great.
You guys
Then we
have
get-
security guards between us or something.
Oh, come on.
Dana.
Yeah, we'll get Dana White.
Uh,
And then Ashnault Pletcher rounding out the card. I think it's gonna be a very exciting match. I'm excited to see both these guys down at 65. This will be at 67, but you got the last guy to win 149 pounds, Anthony Ashnault. You got a guy that we think could have won 141. I rewatched their NCAA match from Luke's true freshman year. It was like 8-7. Ashnault won on a ride out with a riding time point. It was a crazy match.
Their matches got closer as the season went on because Ashnault beat him 3 times that year. The first one was not close. The second one was kind of. And then, that one was awesome.
It was a really, really good match. So excited for that rematch. Going to be a really exciting card. We have so much to get into about this, and we have over a month
so,
to do
Christian,
it.
is this it? This is it for matches, no more, or are we going to add one more?
I don't know. Could be it. Could not be. We're certainly happy with this card and think it's great. And
Yeah.
if opportunity presented itself that made sense, I think we'd do it. But it's got to
What
make
about
sense.
Jo versus Jo put out that he was wrestling Ashnault? Was he lying? Apparently, because Ashnault's wrestling Pletcher.
Well, he's not wrestling. Well, I can say that Jordan Oliver is definitively not wrestling Anthony Ashnault. I think
That's fair.
at the time that was a discussed match, but they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting. I was talking to Ashnault at the first Guerrero, Oklahoma camp, and he said Pletcher, one of the guys who kind of changed his perspective on like development in college, because we were just talking about how the first time he wrestled him, he like whooped up on him, and so he's like, that guy can't be that good. But then kind of remembering, he said he had to put himself in the position of remembering how good he was as a true freshman to how he was, 5th, 6th year senior, and the jumps that guys made. So I think these two guys have a lot of respect for each other. And I'm just, from what I've heard, Pletcher was just all systems go from Jump Street. Like, yes, I want to wrestle. I want to put my shoes on. I want to put my hands on somebody. So credit to the new pit assistant for putting it on the line.
yeah, excited for that one. Other wrestling news: Kennedy Monday in the transfer portal. This surprised a lot of people. Wrestles at North Carolina. His father, Kenny, is not a coach at the university, but he is the coach of the Tar Heel Wrestling Club, I think is the name of the RTC there. So for, the son of someone who basically works at the school to leave, I don't know what to make of that or what that actually means. But it was definitely a surprise that I got a lot of messages about, like, what's up? Do you know the deal here? What's going on here? I don't know what's going on in Chapel Hill there with Kennedy, but I know he's looking elsewhere. But he sent out a tweet and then deleted it, right? So I don't know what that means. So we put out the news. We put out the news because we saw he was in the transfer portal, okay? So we put out the article, and then Kennedy immediately posted a tweet, hey, I'm leaving, da-da-da, ready to turn over a new leaf, something kind of thing. Post that tweet. Then not maybe an hour or two later, the tweet's gone. He deleted it. So I don't know what that means.
But the Instagram is still up, and in his story, he reposted our Instagram of him doing it. So that was all kind of weird. He's not listed as a grad transfer, which that's going to probably impact, if he does end up leaving, that's going to impact kind of where he can go and if he has to sit a year or not. And this was the weirdest one, and I don't know if this is just maybe filled it out wrong because I've never had to fill it out, so it might be extremely difficult. He listed do not contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Someone told me that.
So I don't know what that means, that do not contact. Does that mean you're kind of left to kind of read between the lines? Does he already know kind of where he wants to go? Is he more or less, hey, I know which couple schools I'm interested in. I'll reach out to them, and I guess you can just do that and just say, hey, what's going on? I'd like to come. There's obvious, would he go to Oklahoma State where his father wrestled? Would he go to, would he look to go towards New Jersey where his brother is? Right, his brother wrestles at Princeton. Could he go to Rutgers or something? This is pure speculation. I have no idea where he's looking.
Yeah. Where does he fit? Where does he fit in really well? I mean, we're talking about 165 pounds. Obviously, say, let's see, where is he not going to go? Okay, he's not going to go to Iowa because Alex Marinelli's the starter, right?
Right.
So where does it? Someone you're like, oh, they really need someone because Penn State has Joe Lee, but obviously, I think he's probably a mid-teens ranked guy for me. Who really needs him?
Oh man, that'd be something if he went to Penn State. He would help them.
I think Minnesota's interested.
Yeah.
Minnesota? I could see that. What about Oregon State? Cowboy connection. I think they would. There's the post.
Yeah, so that's still up. The tweet is down, but the Instagram, which says the exact same thing, use the exact same picture, is still up.
So, there's a chance maybe he doesn't leave. I don't know. Just because you're in the portal doesn't mean you leave. But when you put yourself in the portal, you can lose money. So there's risk when you do that. Now, would they take that step? I don't know. But I'm surprised that after this would be his last year of eligibility, right?
I believe so.
I feel like it.
And that was also somebody, just not somebody. A bunch of people were like, could he be going to Princeton with his brother? That would be very out of sorts for Princeton to, as a school, not university. Nothing to do with the wrestling team, just as a university to allow in somebody that far into their collegiate academic career.
It's not easy to transfer to Ivies.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know anything about transferring to Ivies, but obviously when you're trying to get admitted initially out of high school, the standards are insane. They got to be the same going through college, right?
You would think. I mean, Cornell is an exception as an Ivy is, kind of there. So many of their guys go through. Well, I wasn't going to say ag school. I was going to say they go to TC3, the junior college there or the community college there, and then transfer in. That's one way they get a lot of guys into the school, right? But a lot like Princeton, I don't think they have that kind of a situation.
Beyond that, Pendleton did follow him on Twitter. RBY followed him. Which I don't know if RBY's I don't imagine RBY's doing the brokering for getting guys in.
Might be. Never know.
RBY the agent. So that's the recent follows on Twitter. Instagram is a little. I don't know how to sort by recent followers on Instagram.
That's one of the coolest parts of Twitter. You can see who most recently followed someone. So yeah. So we'll see where he winds up.
Yeah, bracket confirmed last year of eligibility.
All right, last year. So this is it. One last dance.
So okay, he's not going to Virginia Tech because they got Mackay. Not going to Iowa, not Stanford. Maybe Michigan because Mass is bumping up.
Well, they've got Cam Amin. I don't think it would make sense to.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess Luan is.
Luan,
doesn't have
57.
a
I
rate-
mean,
yeah.
he's not going to Michigan. If he
Okay.
does, okay. All right. Very interesting news.
Could he move weight classes, Christian? Could he move weight classes or not?
Well, it's funny you say that. If he went to Oklahoma State and went 74, then they don't need to use Plot as a true freshman.
They also are more. They're more in need of a 57 or 74 than.
Or maybe he goes
65.
57 again. Who's to say?
They do cut him down there.
Kennedy's one of those guys who apparently has always looked much bigger than he is, right? Because he's just got that long frame. But like I remember when he was at 149 at the wrestling at the Scuffle, I was like, holy cow, this guy looks enormous. They're like, he hardly cuts anything. But of course he's gone up to 57 and now 65. But maybe he could.
I have no reason to believe this would happen, but just going as Ben was going through, looking at the top teams, Nebraska is probably in need of a 65.
True. That was one of the.
Especially for 1 year, kind of with how their lineup is right now.
That would be interesting.
But there's no indication that's going to happen. It's just looking at the needs of teams.
Yeah. All we can do is speculate at this point. But as it is, one of the best wrestlers at UNC looking to leave UNC. So always newsworthy. All right. Nomad, you've been gone. And people have been asking about you. People are wondering what's been going on with Nomad. People are very concerned with you during a time of quarantine and coronavirus and everything that goes on.
Coronavirus.
And your fans were worried. Can you tell them you're okay and give us kind of the rundown of Nomad quarantine life?
I'm okay. I am a far more boring person than perhaps people realize. So I didn't do a whole lot during quarantine. I was sequestered with a young lady for a while.
Oh my! What?
Are there baby nomads coming out? What does sequestered mean?
Don't answer that. No, Your Honor, objection. Don't answer what sequestered means, Nomad. Nomad was this is news to me. All right, he's like, I told Nomad last night. I was like, hey, I want you to like kind of give people a catch up. I'm sure it'll be very Nomad. He's like, it's gonna be very boring. And then the first thing he says, he was sequestered with a young lady. Are you still sequestered, counselor?
No, I'm not sequestered.
Have you gotten a dowry from her family, Nomad?
No. First of all, dowry goes the other way. Man has to pay.
Are you sure?
But no,
he would know.
No, we're no longer together.
He would know. I don't know.
She's a great girl.
Wow. This is the most I've ever heard Nomad talk about a woman ever. Yeah. So that's great.
I'm very secretive about that aspect of my life.
Yes. Okay. So other than this sequestership, what else?
I played a lot of StarCraft, which was a game from my youth, and StarCraft is awesome. So I don't care, like nerds anti-nerds come at me. StarCraft is a really fun game. You got to pass a lot of time in quarantine. So play a lot of StarCraft. There's a game on my phone called Retro Bowl, which is a blatant Tecmo Bowl ripoff, which I love Tecmo Bowl.
Okay. Explain to me a lot of food thoughts I have. Do you grocery shop?
Of course I grocery shop.
Okay. If we open your fridge right now, what's in there? Right
now, last few weeks have been pretty bad. I've been going going to Oklahoma and then coming back and so you gotta ration these things out. But okay, now that we have to talk about like Corona itself, people kept asking me, or like my family kept asking me, why don't you just get your groceries delivered? I see no way that like helps the no touching of things.
Yeah,
because it's just somebody else touching your things before you touch them.
Yeah, you just add to the amount of people who touched all your things.
Right. Because if you go to the grocery, where I live, I go to HEB, which is a Texas thing, so I'm sure most of you don't.
Basically, the only HEB has like a monopoly down here.
Yes.
Basically, they run everything else out. There ain't no Kroger, ain't no Food Lion. It's all HEB all the time.
And if you go to HEB and you look around and see people and they have phones, and it's like, well, what are they doing? They're the TaskRabbit people that are picking up for, I don't know what, like the one delivery service, Sprouts. I don't know what HEB's version of Sprouts is, but they're just going around picking up food the same way that you or I would. So it's the same level of touching. So I don't think I don't see any way that helps prevent corona.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you there. I'm with you.
Can Nomad, can you talk about some of the other things about corona that people are doing that don't make sense? Because I want to hear your take. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that don't make sense, Nomad. And
we're gonna get kicked off Facebook. In like 5 minutes, our feed's gonna be shut down.
Yeah,
remember that one time you said that something was gonna happen, and then literally 2 minutes later, I forget what you were talking about, something with the Clintons or something crazy, and then like 2 minutes later, Bracky was like, "Our Facebook stopped working." Remember that? So don't make it happen again, Ben.
I don't know. Just be safe. You know, things are opening up and going back. I don't know. Be safe.
Hey, I did watch your interview where Thomas Gilman interviewed you. I thought it was really good. Is that up on the site somewhere?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is up on the site. So when I was down in... Thank you, Ben. I'm glad you watched that. Mm-hmm. So when I was down in Oklahoma, up in Oklahoma the first time, I was hanging out with Adam Fellers, who brought down a bunch of the kids from Seabolt's club. And him and Thomas Gilman are very close. And the one night we were in Feller's room, and he said, "No, man, I'm going to turn the camera around on you." And Gilman interviewed me. And Gilman, when his competitive career is done, has an excellent potential to be a great podcaster.
There you go.
I don't know about classical interviewer because I've learned there's differences from being on Bader Show for so long. But
really, what are the differences? I'm very curious.
Okay, when we're doing this, we're like having a conversation, right? And so you can kind of be more drawn out. You know, like CP and I and we can take a minute or two to like say complete sentence. If you're doing an interview and the interviewer is talking for more than 15, 20 seconds, it gets very cumbersome.
Got it.
Yeah. Huh. Well, podcasts are that's what people want to hear anyways now.
Right.
They don't like the traditional interview. They like the more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Joe Rogan's the number one show in the world right now.
Joe does, I mean, to your point though, but Joe does do a really good job at kind of more or less getting out of the way, right? And kind of, he probably lets, I don't know if this is true, but when he interviews people, I would say the interviewee probably talks, 75, 80% of the time. What do you think? No,
for sure. Yeah. It's very, but he does it in a way where it doesn't feel like, it feels more conversational than a Q&A type of scenario.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's very talented, obviously.
Skilled.
Shut up. He's talented, but he worked at it.
He didn't come out of his mom's womb podcasting.
You don't know that. No, I know. He's good. Well, we can agree with that.
Can I? Okay.
Please.
We're not going to rehash this debate. My number one issue with the debate is, so the reason that legal documents are so long is because they begin with definitions of terms. And y'all were just not agreeing on the definition of the words that you were fighting over. And so there was no resolution that was ever going to happen.
Well, I made that point several times.
Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm not.
He's pre-law.
A lawyer?
He's pre-law.
Yeah,
I agree. I was trying to get CP to define talent, and he wouldn't do it. No, man.
No, I definitely did. I definitely defined it. We agreed. What happened was we agreed on the same things that they existed, and I choose to call that thing talent, and you choose not to call it talent.
Right. That was why. That was why I didn't like the
also,
debate.
One of the best parts of that was when Ben at the beginning of the debate said, let's keep it limited to wrestling and don't make it about something else like chess. And then literally 30 minutes later, implementing, I guess because I had him on the ropes, maybe he had to pull the chess emergency shoot. And he had to utilize a chess example.
Well, that's a great example.
I know, but you literally said at the beginning.
What's their name again? It's Triplet. It's
Okay.
What is their names?
I don't know.
And I apologize for derailing the conversation.
It's okay.
I would like to make one singular point about my opinion on the thing. In my opinion, talent, or I like to call it genetic potential, because like some people are born taller and faster. Like that's just a thing. It can be improved upon. Your speed can be improved upon. All that things. But something like wrestling, you cannot be talented at. You can have talents or attributes or genetic potential that allows you to have a greater propensity to be better at wrestling. But like wrestling itself, you cannot just be good at out the womb. Basketball, like shooting a basketball, is not a normal thing, right? Like that's not a thing that humans do just for the sake of living. There are things that make you likely to be better at basketball: height, hand-eye coordination, agility, quickness. But like shooting a basketball itself or being on a basketball court is not something you can be naturally talented at because it's not a thing that humans naturally do.
I agree with all that.
I agree.
That is where I stand on the debate. There are things that allow you to be better at something that is talent. Of course, there is work that goes into it. But like certain things, like those skills, are skills that have to be developed, whether you have the natural genetic potential or whatever attributes to be good at those things or not.
Hear, hear. All right.
On to the next.
Let's. Hey, do you have any recruiting thoughts for us,
Yeah.
Nomad? Because I don't know all that much about recruiting.
You unabashedly have moved away from high school over the last several years.
Yeah. I don't try to. I'm not gonna be like a poser. Like I know all these kids. I know the best kids and watch them, but I don't know.
Can I ask a question here about? I guess it'll be about high school recruiting slash rankings. So previously, in previous years, generally speaking, you guys had pulled out of your high school rankings outgoing seniors. I believe it was prior to UWWs. When are you guys going to do your first rankings where there are no, so what's it, class of 2020s in there? Because I haven't seen that.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yes. So part of it is waiting for Fargo and then determining if there's going to be cadet trials. So Brock and I have begun the process of, so the seniors have been pulled out on our sheet. It's a matter of getting backfilling to 20.
Yeah, and it's going to be, I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard. You have no tournaments. What tournaments are you going to go off of? There's freaking none of them. It's annoying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yes, that process has begun.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about the thing we're going to do with Dick Chamizo?
What?
I
don't know what that means. I thought we were going to talk about recruiting.
I know. I'm saying the thing is going to be announced at Dick Chamizo.
Please tell. Please tell.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to announce the Who's Number One card at Dick Chamizo.
Yeah. It's going to be fire.
For high school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys already have it?
So you're gonna know the full lineup by Dick Chamizo at Dick Chamizo. I don't know if it'll be pre-show or whatever, but it'll be announced within that card.
Happening?
That will also be announced.
Yes.
October.
Okay. Wow,
so just
nice.
block out the
That's
whole
awesome.
month, and then we'll tell you which day in October. As it
The
gets
entire
closer.
thing.
We'll give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks notice, easy. No, so all that will be announced July 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be sick. Gonna be a great Who's number one.
Yeah.
But hey, talk about recruiting though.
So
Quit stalling.
recruiting class of 2022, they were able to get legally contacted by coaches, electronic communication, because they still have the dead period for physical in-person visits through July 31st. But they start getting contacted on June 15th. And from class of 2022, currently by my count, there are 4 guys committed. Seth Shoemate committed a while ago after his freshman year to Ohio State. He was Akron runner-up, Fargo champ. The big one, though, Eric Gibson to Cornell, and the reason that's big is, well, first of all, I think Eric Gibson has tremendous potential and kind of a classic Cornell guy. I think he's like 34 on the big board right now, and given what they've done with, Gabe and Max Dean and guys like that, they certainly can extract a lot out of a guy in the 30s. But Gibson has number one, Gibson's really good. Number two, he has a younger brother who is also very good by the name of Mason Gibson. He won 106 pounds at Super 32 this year as an 8th grader, and he's up to, he'll probably be a 26 or 32 this year, kind of depending upon how that goes. So you got to think they have the in on Mason Gibson, who is number one on the junior high big board. And then you have just a Forest Hills pipeline that is extremely worth going after. Jackson Arrington. Sorry, go ahead.
Give because the Forest Hills pipeline. Explain, what is this school? How are they so good now? Because I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
So you got to.
Well, that's what. Yeah. So I was gonna get into the kids. So Forest Hills is District 6 in PA. So they're a little bit kind of outside of the Whippeal region, right? That District 7 region. So they're kind of affiliated with Young Guns. They also have Compound Johnstown is where a lot of these kids work out. So they're in a really good environment to be successful between their strength and conditioning, and then obviously the strip matters and all things going to Young Guns.
So the Bassett's dad runs the strength and conditioning at Forest. It's literally down the hills from the Johnstown wrestling room. And
Yes.
when I taught there a couple of summers ago, I wanted to get a workout, so I went over there and got a workout in at their strength and conditioning facility. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, 2 miles. Maybe that might be an exaggeration. It might not even be that far.
So how did
cool that it's kind of
is Forest Hills? I'm not in the previous years. I have not heard of this high school being prominent. How did it get to be? This is where the kids all decided to go.
I don't know. I think they all just lived in the area.
I think it's Bassett's dad. No, I think it's Bassett's dad.
Okay.
I think he's the. Don't quote me on this. I'm not sure. This is just what I gathered from what I was there. 3 days, one day a year for 3 years in a row, and this is what I gathered. I've seen him at a few wrestling tournaments. He does the compound thing. I think he's been instrumental in bringing a bunch of people together.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, and you know how these things kind of work, right? The high school, they're in a called 50-mile radius, and they all kind of see each other on dual teams, and they're at the same tournaments, and then they kind of, the cream rises to the top, and they all go, okay, well, let's all end up at the same high school together so we can continue this thing going. So you got Bo and Keegan Bassett. Yes. Bo is, I don't know, top 5, top 10 on junior high big board. Now Bassett's are big Iowa guys, so they may not be, Cornell may not be able to crack into that. But who else was a big Iowa guy growing up? Yanni. Who? Yanni, 8th grade Super
Really?
32.
Are you
had
sure?
Hawkeye. Dude, I talked to Yanni about this. Had Hawkeye headgear on when he won. I think it was when he wrestled Dayton maybe in Super 32 finals. So
wow. We'll
see if they can crack through that. You also have Jackson Arrington, who is a PA state champ. He was actually at the Guerrero camp. And then you have a couple other guys that placed Easton Toth, Noah Teeter, are 2022 guys. So Forest Hills, very young, very up and coming program. And I mean, when you can get an in with Young Guns, and in particular kind of this Forest Hills program with the compound, you're doing your job.
It was 7 miles away. I lied. It was a little farther than I recalled.
Wow, way farther. Huge difference. So yeah, Forest
I
Hills
thought it was
kind of
really
reminds
close
me.
in my head.
It reminds me of kind of like Franklin Regional a couple of years ago, where just
Mm-hmm.
a lot. You had Kimmer Shields, Maruka, Spencer Lee, Nico, all in a 5-year, 6-year span. All those guys went through there.
Right.
And now it's, that seems to have kind of waned a little bit at Franklin Regional. I don't think they have that kind of firepower.
They still obviously have excellent guys like Carter Dybert. He's going to Arizona State. He was 3rd Super 32, placed to PA States a bunch. So they still have some guys that are just not maybe the force that they were when Spencer was young.
I'm not, it's a good get for, the way I read the Gibson commitment is probably most important for, Mason, right? Getting the little brother. Because who really locks down a high school? No one's locked down Blair. No one locked down Franklin Regional. No one's locking down Forest Hills, in my opinion.
And even just having the inside track on Mason is good enough.
Yeah.
Right? But just having one more connection, right? I mean, wrestling recruiting is so based on connections. All the time I'll hear guys, they'll commit to a school and I'll kind of be figuring out, okay, how do you end up there? And it's, the assistant coach wrestled for that coach in college, or they were, this assistant coach and his high school head coach or his club coach were teammates. So just one more in is better than not, as it pertains to Forest Hills and the Gibson family in particular.
Yeah. So good get there. Otherwise, pretty quiet on the recruiting front.
Yeah, I mean, so Steve-O committed, which I know you guys talked about. Yeah. Van Ness and Kyle Valencia are still from my last conversation with their fathers in holding pattern. I still don't think they're going to commit anytime soon. If I had to bet, I would say Van Ness is going to commit before Valencia.
Okay.
Cooper Flynn also has not committed. He's going to be an excellent lightweight. A lot of the ACC schools are in him, which kind of makes sense being from the Southeast. If you go on the 2021 big board, Bracky did this brilliant thing, which we've never done before, which is put the school list. If we have the school list for the kid where the college is.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So kind of the rounding out the top 5 guys that haven't committed yet. Nate Schoen, Braxton Brown, Evan Bates, we have all their school lists. So those are the rest of the top 2021 guys. But yeah, we're looking at a lot of 2022s right now. And I've been in contact with all of them and kind of getting some updates on their recruiting. A lot of the top guys are still kind of far away, but look, Eric Gibson committed right away, so I got my eyes and ears on you 2022s.
All right, Nomad's on the case. Let's go to questions from friends. What do you say?
Is he like Chase?
What'd you say?
Is he like Chase? You guys, I don't. My son's really into that show right now.
Paw
You know
Patrol.
what I'm talking about? Yes, Chase is on the case.
That was a good show. Kids love that one.
Do they?
Mine did. They love Paw Patrol.
No, man, you'll have kids someday, and you'll see.
Keep getting sequestered.
Yeah, you might have them. We don't know, no, man.
I don't know.
There's definitely a possibility.
Okay, first question from Corey Kundert. I'd like to hear Ben's thoughts on the mental toughness, fortitude difference, if any, between wrestling and MMA. Is competing in an all-day, multiple-day tournament the equivalent of one fight mentally?
No, I don't. I never really felt much of a difference. I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. Obviously, there's different aspects to each that maybe, right? So obviously, like the wrestling you brought up, you might have to compete multiple times, which means you're going to need to do kind of a mental reset, especially say if you were to lose, right, and you got to wrestle back, there's got to be kind of a reset there. Whereas if you lose a fight, you're not going to fight again for, I don't know, 2 to 3 months, right, or something to that effect. Whereas in fighting, maybe you're worried about your paycheck or you're worried about getting injured, or maybe there's more people watching. So I think there's aspects to both of them that you need to tune out to have an ideal performance.
Well, it seemed like for a tournament, you have to be able to handle various swings, right? Like you could lose a match, or your teammate could lose, or all kinds of different things, right?
Multiple different styles.
You used to have a lot of different. There's just so much variability. Whereas basically everything you've done as a MMA fighter is like just pointed to this one day, this one time, this one opponent, and 3 to 5 rounds against that. So I'd say it is pretty different. Okay, from Nick Kroninger. How should coaches condition pre-college athletes? I think many coaches compensate their lack of technical knowledge by spending too much time conditioning. Getting in shape is important, but how much conditioning is too much? Please give metrics on time spent, percent of practice.
Yeah, I mean, I was just me and a couple guys were rapping about this after practice last night. A couple college kids. I mean, maybe there's like 5 or 6 people sitting around, but one kid. Actually, who hopefully will end up in the rankings once you pull the seniors out. I won't tell you who it is because I don't want to bias your decision making, Nomad.
It's very noble of you, Ben.
But
everyone else wants to.
I would not do that. That would be unfair of me to do so. So he asked, what makes Kale different? And I said, well, as a competitor, as a coach, because as a competitor, I can't really answer. That's beyond my time frame where I was really had a good knowledge of wrestling. As a coach, I have some really good guesses because, when we've had David or Jason in for camp or when I've hung out with Ed Ruth, I've kind of prodded them for information on how he does it, why, how they do it. It is funny because they are all really secretive. Like they won't give you all the juice, They'll be very secretive about it like Kale wants them to be. But my one of the things I think is there is a continued technical development the entire time. And we talked last week when we did the top 5 Penn State guys. It's really funny because they almost have the same thing. Where that first year they're there, where there was, Zane actually wrestled, but the rest of them Richard, they're much better after that. They're much better after that than they are before that. And so I think there's a continued technical development the entire way through the career. Where, yes, a lot of other college coaches are just like, just go hard, and however good you are as a freshman, technically speaking, that's how good you are as a senior, and you're just going to get stronger and tougher. And if I ran a program, that's not how I would run it, but that's how a lot of people choose to do it. I don't know why they see that as the best way, because I think it's fairly proven that it's not. Maybe it's easier. But actually, one thing I'm going through right now as a coach is, obviously for a long time I was on the cutting, very, very cutting edge of technique, and now I literally can't really wrestle. Like I can't get in there and feel out a lot of these positions because of my hip issue, and so it's got to be the chamizo position. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, where the leg's on the outside and he whips his body around and they end up kind of 50-50. We've been working on that a fair amount lately, and it's like, well, I'm watching what's happening, but I can't really even get in there and kind of do it all anymore. So I got to kind of say, well, here's what I think. You guys feel it out, work with this, that type of thing. So, yeah, but I would say way too much time is spent on strength conditioning, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of tied it in a lot to college, but I was thinking just high school. And I'm thinking back when I coached, I knew I could only problem solve to a point for the guys I was coaching, and then I'd have to really, as much as I watched and as much as I read, it's just there was only so much I could really help them because I'd never done it, right, and not at the level that they were at. So it is an easy way to kind of fall back. It's okay, I can get you to a point here technically, and then I can put you around guys that can hopefully help you problem solve, and I'll try to help you any way I can. But it's easy to just say, we're going to be in absolutely ridiculous shape and we will never get tired. And I know I fell into that for sure when I was coach. I was like, well, we got this figured out, but now we are never going to get tired in matches. And did it help? I think it did help us, but at the same time, but I know that if I could have put more technical knowledge in these guys, I knew that was the answer to it. I knew that was I knew that was how I could get them better, but I knew I couldn't do that for them. I couldn't once this guy got that much better than me and everyone else in the room, I really had a hard time getting him to that next level.
Yeah. So I would say I lean on those guys. I lean on them. I said, what do you think about this? I know what I think about it. Give me what you feel. And now actually this summer it's been extra awesome because none of the college guys can practice in their own room, so they're all forced to come back home essentially. I mean, obviously AWA has different facilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just at my specific facility, I mean, we're probably getting 6 to 10 college kids per practice that worked out, that came to us in high school and now are coming back. So it's great because, we're getting their feedback on the topics as well, and they're all really smart and they all have great feedback.
Yeah.
So I think there's a couple things with this. So you talked about, right, you clearly saw guys get better, right, when you put the emphasis on conditioning. But it's kind of, and depending on I wish people had access to my brain right now, because depending upon the way you visualize it, you look at it either as walls or steps. And so it's okay, you're getting better. You're getting better. You tangibly see the results that the kids are getting better. Mm-hmm. But the way that you're going about getting better, are you maxing out how you can get better? It's okay, I'm in the best shape ever. And so I know I get better, but I'm capped out here. Whereas if you kind of focus on the technical side, you can, and you go this route, choose your own adventure, you can get up to here.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
No, but can I? So I always thought about that. I don't want to crap on J-Rob, but and this is the way I thought about it, and obviously always worked for me. And I kind of was in the summer, literally in the summer. Okay, I'm gonna wrestle one tournament, and that's Fargo. Now there's some other things, but Max was really no tournaments besides that, because it should be about technical development. Why do I need to be in shape in the summer? So I should not spend almost any effort or energy being in shape in the summer, because I don't need to win matches. I don't need to win tournaments. I need to be getting better at wrestling. So I put myself in a bunch of situations where my technical knowledge goes up. Now, maybe in the season, you need to spend more time on the strength and conditioning, but in the summer, there should be a gigantic amount of technical development because you don't need to be your best competitor.
Well, I would refute that somewhat, Ben, in that I think it's totally for the individual. Like, I know that for someone like that was probably at your level or Max's level going in there, the J-Rob 28 intensive camp would not have been what you needed to like help you get to the next level. But I think there's so much to be said for like, think of a regular high school wrestler, just proving yourself. Yeah. I mean, that's what wrestling was for me. Like, I really learned so much about myself and what I was able to do, and like had my eyes opened at 18 years old. Like, whoa, there's like a whole other thing here that I could do that I didn't even realize I could do. And so I think the 28-day camp is great for that reason, in these intensive camps. And I agree. I don't think it's about being in shape going to see, because you're going to finish that 28-day camp and you're probably going to take a week off or 2 weeks off, and then you're going to maybe you're going to lull back, but you're probably going to always know that what you're able to do. So I think there is something for it. But yeah, if I was one of the best kids in the country, it's probably not how I would spend a month.
Well, okay, so I 100% agree with what you said, everything you said there, and yes, I do think those are valuable. And I would say, but Christian, I would say it doesn't matter what skill level. The same for me, I would have the same sentiment. I do agree that getting kids over that mental hump of I can do this, I can work hard. Like, yeah, that's a really important one. And getting kids to believe in themselves, J-Rob does a great job at that. There's no doubt about that. But even a kid who's not very good at wrestling, so say I get the next 30 days and I can have him run and lift, or I could teach him a high crotch, a single leg, and a down block go behind. What's going to be more beneficial to him winning more matches next year? Well, a good high crotch, a good single leg, and a good down block go behind are going to be significantly more beneficial to him winning wrestling matches, because you have the same kid who can't do any of those skills, but he's, now knows he's tougher than he was before, still not help win that many wrestling matches. So I do think, yes, there is value in a kid learning to believe himself, learning that they're tough enough to do that. I 100% agree there's value, but as far as winning wrestling matches, I still don't think it's the most efficient way to do that.
I got 3 points here, and so I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. And honestly, we can go with this the rest of the time if you guys want, because this is awesome conversation.
Yeah,
okay,
it's fun.
So
let's do it.
So number one, to your point about if I have 30 days to get a kid better, I think what is dangerous there is like understanding body composition of athletes. And to do the things in wrestling, you have to be athletic, whether that is talent or whatever, or you become athletic. You work your body into the ability to do certain things at a greater level. There has to be some kind of baseline level of quickness, strength, whatever way you're using your body to maximize your wrestling. There has to be some like baseline there that you can draw from to get your power, to get your quickness from. So I do think that there still has to be like some level of that. Once they get to a certain level, strength and conditioning is like homework, and you do that and you come to practice, and at practice you learn technique and you get better, and you are expected to know the material in this case being your body can handle going through the practice, whether it's rigorous or not, because you're in shape, because you're strong. And so it's like strength and conditioning is like at some point becomes the homework. And then the last thing about your point is, what would you rather a kid do? From our perspective as wrestling folks, fall in love with wrestling or fall in love with strength and conditioning?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of kids that are in love with strength and conditioning that happen to wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that thing. The other thing I would definitely like to mention too, I think this is important, is we have an AWA syllabus, and it's all the techniques we do and stuff, and we give it out to the local coaches. But on the back page, we have a kind of a by skill level. We have 2 pages. The number 1 page is where do we spend our time in practice? So there's essentially 4 categories: teaching, drilling, sparring, live, right? So those are 4 categories. And then top, bottom, neutral, obviously, which one by there. So, for example, with our really little kids, it would be pretty much a waste of time to have them do any sparring because they don't get it. It just doesn't make sense, right? At the same time, I can't tell the 6-year-olds, hey, go drill single legs, okay? But when I'm starting my practice with my older kids, I say, hey, guys, go drill single legs for 2 minutes, and then we'll get into whatever, right? So it kind of looks like this. Teaching is a huge component of a really, really early practice because they know nothing. So we have to teach them a lot. The teaching component goes down, it shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. As we go down, the teaching component shrinks. The drilling component grows a little bit, but it stays relatively similar once you get to kind of a mid-level kid. And the sparring is where it's almost zero at the beginning, and then it expands to a very wide portion by the time they get older. And then the live stays relatively small the entire time at, say 10 to 20% of your practice. So that's kind of how we like to think about it. So the biggest difference, the one that shrinks and the one that grows, in the beginning, the teaching is huge and it shrinks as we get older. And that's just by a time standard, because by the time you get older, I've probably taught you a lot of stuff that you should already know it. And the sparring goes from almost nothing to a lot, because essentially that is because I want you to be teaching yourself stuff by the time you get to be really old. Is that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah.
You're the master, Ben. That's very insightful, truly.
Yeah, so that's how we like to think about it, with our guys.
Good conversation, boys.
Great convo. Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Who was that asked us that question?
Nick Kroninger. Was Nick Kroninger. Thank you, Nick. Does episode 2 of We Are explain if Nick Lee actually gets 9 1/4 hours sleep a night? No, we don't get into that. That's a whole other separate film. No sleep patterns discussed. Funniest thought during a match. I'm curious for Ben. I don't have.
Ooh, I got a good one.
Okay.
I got a good one. Okay, so it was when I fought the juiced up Russian in Manila in 2016. I'm blanking on his name. Just gigantic Jack
I'll look
Russian.
it up while you're telling the story.
Definitely on lots of steroids. So my buddy, who's a geologist who lives in Australia, who came to a lot of my Asian fights, Rai, he wrestled me at Missouri. He wanted, I believe it's Mount Pinatubo is the one that's in Manila, or the Philippines. So he had bought a trip for us to go hike Mount Pinatubo, me and my 2 corners and him, the 4 of us. The next morning, we were going to hike Mount Pinatubo. And I remember, I think it was the 4th round, I got kicked hard as SHIT in the leg. And I remember thinking that, I go, guess I'm not hiking Mount Pinatubo in the morning.
Oh,
and I literally remember having that thought, and then like, oh yeah, I should probably keep fighting this guy.
Was it Kuroshkov?
No, not that was Bellator. It was the one that was in one championship.
Okay, not Abasov.
No, after that,
Alex Sakin.
Alex Sakin, Nikolai Alex Sakin. Uh-huh.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that one. I got kicked in the leg. Yes, it is Mount Pinatubo. Very large volcano, and I think it was like 1991 or so.
5-minute rounds?
Yeah, and it was like the 4th round. He kicked me in the leg, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not gonna be able to hike Mount Pinatubo in the morning.
How sore was that leg in the morning?
Dude, like one good, if the leg kick lands right, like dude is not like I can't imagine being say Uriah Faber when he got kicked all those times by Jose Aldo. Like I can't imagine what that felt like. It had to be terrible. I mean, I remember Lima landed one really, really hard leg kick on me, and Alex Sakin did. Those are the 2 that I can remember, like being like, "Oh, that was really hard. That was like the perfect spot." And it's like your leg is sore for 10 days or so. It's terrible. Yeah,
sounds brutal. That's it. I'm not getting into mixed martial arts.
One time, Ben Askren kneed me in the ribs at Topgolf. That wasn't fun.
I did not. This is an accusation.
Ben Askren is that friend. I've given this story before. Everyone has that friend that's like, that always kind of hits you and stuff. And it's like, everyone has that guy's like, shoulder get you. But Ben does it. He's an actual MMA champion and he hits people. Yeah. Jeez.
You should ask about the leg kicks. Mark Bader let Mo Lawal's trainer kick him 3 times in the leg. I don't know why he did that. That was a really, really terrible life decision.
He told me about that So he's told me that story multiple times, just about how painful it is. He's like it felt like he was able to pull my muscle apart and just kick it right on my bone somehow. And then he would like kick him. He would be like, the guy was like 30%. He would kick me and he was like 50%, or like basically, he was telling Bader he was barely kicking him. And you know, Bader is a very, very tough person, and he was like, I thought I was gonna throw up. It was so bad.
It had to be so, because this was like. They weren't even fighting. It was just he just got to kick him, you know?
He had to take it.
I don't know how Mo talked Bader into this. Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. Come on. All right. He's wizened up now. I don't think he's doing that kind of stuff anymore. He's doing better. Okay. Funniest thought during a match was I don't want to hike. Have you had any funny thoughts? One time you thought I should do a front flip when you're in a ball and chain and it worked.
That is why, like...
Dude, you know, that would be the most viral clip in, like, FloWrestling history if we somehow had video of that moment.
Oh, my gosh.
People have asked so many times, is there video of the front flip out of the ball and chain from Nomad?
This is why, number one, this is why I should probably try jiu-jitsu at some point. Yeah. I enjoyed the thought process of, like, okay, how do I get this? Obviously, I was terrible. That aside, but like I enjoyed the process of, okay, what is the best way of getting out of this, or putting the other person in this position that is going to cause them the most pain. And in that instance, my brain went, all right, well, you're not going that way, you got to go that way.
So he did a front flip and it worked. It was genius. Well, we'll have to have a behind the dirt on that at some point. Man, I don't know if this is an 8-minute question, but I really want to ask it, so here we go. Cooper Wills. There have been a lot of great 184, 197 pounders in the last 20 years. Which one do you think would have stylistically matched up best against Kale? Does anyone have a greater than 5% chance of beating the GOAT?
Jaden.
That's exactly who I was going to say.
Jaden
Michael Tabori Cox. Is there anyone else? I feel like Jaden, it's like Bo is certainly up. Bo and Ed are up there. But I think stylistically, I don't think they match up great because they're like kind of in Kale's wheelhouse, whereas Jaden is in no one's wheelhouse ever. Like no one wrestles like Jaden.
I think you have to define, like, does Ed get to wrestle freshman Kale? Because the only year he was at 97, like Bo was his senior year, so obviously that was the best version of Kale. I mean, his freshman year, didn't he only win by 1 or 2 in the NCAA finals? So if it's a really good, say, junior year Ed Ruth, now that's a different story. Are we defining it as the ultimate Kale and it's somehow he cuts down?
I don't. I'm certain that Kale got much better, but you know, undefeated Hodge Trophy winner. It would seem like he was extremely dominant as a freshman, right? I don't know.
The thing with Jaden though, like
if you can get any of these guys during Kale's 4-year window where you can say, yeah, this guy's got a 30% chance of beating Kale, make that scenario happen.
The thing with Jaden and Ben, I mean, Ben knows this probably better than both CP and I combined, but like his ability to process information during matches is staggering. Like his ability to pretty much always know where his body should be, how to put the other guy's body is like his ability to process information is incredible.
I think he would need a couple cracks potentially, and I don't know who the cracks would favor. Right?
Well, I don't know though because he doesn't watch film.
You know,
yeah,
like he feels it during the match. And he just has put himself in so many. He puts himself in so many positions.
I'm not saying it's. He's not gonna wrestle him and then break it down. He's gonna wrestle him and feel it, and then like and like problem solve, and then the next time maybe. But if they wrestled 10 times, I think if he had 5 cracks at Kale, I think maybe 197 Jaden had a chance, right? But that's
At the very least, it's awesome to watch. I mean, it's not Kale does not blow him out. That we know that for sure, right?
For sure. I don't think he's getting turned. For sure.
Jaden's
track record for getting turned is
folk style.
Did he ever give up near fall? He maybe did, but I don't remember it.
He basically had one bad tournament.
Yeah, he had the McIntosh and Snyder loss year.
Yeah. Right, which even that, now the thing there,
he also
stylistically,
was like 4 or 5-1 against McIntosh. He like owned him.
The thing there stylistically, and granted, again, we just admitted this is like worst version of Jaden Cox. Snyder took him down with an ankle pick.
Yes, he did.
When he beat him, that was obviously like that. Kale was very good at an ankle pick, but we're also not taking that version of Jaden.
Kyle Snyder won Worlds that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Kale didn't even win Worlds his senior year.
Right.
Well, Kale made the team in 2001, and then Worlds got pushed back, and so we went to the bullpen, and Coach Eggum
got silver.
Shout out
Coach
because Eggum's a badass.
Yeah. Are there any others? Are we not looking for
CP, what place did Keel take in 02? I'm blanking in 02. In 03, he took silver, right?
We didn't wrestle in 02, Ben. It was in Iran, and it was post 9/11.
Oh, my God. I forgot.
So none of those guys got to wrestle.
03, he got silver.
03, he got silver. He lost to Sajidov.
And then 4,
that's why
he won.
Yeah.
Olympics.
Sajidov was, yeah, we didn't get into that.
Who were some other 97s?
I think that Bo Nickel and Jaden are the two that would be the most competitive.
Hey, what about Greg Jones?
If it's younger Kale, that's really interesting.
I think Greg and Jaden are probably the two for me that are the most. I mean, because Jake Varner was a great 97, but certainly, I wouldn't.
Maybe he could give Kale problems. Maybe
he'd be so strong. But
I taught you everything you know, but not everything that I know.
Yeah, that kind of thing. That would be a tough one. That'd be a tough one for him. So yeah, I would say Greg Jones and Jaden would be my two.
And Greg would have heat with Kale because Kale beat Virtus.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, good call.
Gotta love the heat. It's a little brother stuff. Okay.
This podcast solely, especially when Bracky's on, but this podcast is on more for Greg Jones' legacy than anything because that dude is absolutely a forgotten great.
He really is. Okay. Tyler, we're ready to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 512, the Austin area code. Mm-hmm. We'll be back tomorrow. Nomad will be back. He's here all week. I hope he can do this next week because I'm going to be gone next week.
Yeah, all week. I've got another episode of Beta Show, another Who's Number One the Show, depth chart and target articles for NC State and Cornell coming out this week, and then all of the Dake Chamizo content you can handle for the next month.
Yeah, baby. Thanks so much. Thanks to Ben. Thanks to you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good Tuesday. Thank you.